welcome. I'm here with Justin from the Backstage. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
And my first question for you is our favourite HMV picks. So 3 records, 2 films and a book.
3 records,
No
2 films and a book. I guess if I'm thinking about sort of the formation of the band and things we were sort of consuming at the time, first Ramones record was important to us, self-titled. Jonathan Richman, Psycho Candy, Jesus and Mary Chain are all, I think, 3 quite important records when we were sort of piecing everything together. Movies, we loved this movie Lemon Popsicle, which had an amazing soundtrack. I bought the soundtrack the other day, actually. Lots of like 50s rock and roll and sort of like bubble gum kind of.
I think these are perfect picks.
Good. And then, well, a bit of an outlier, but I remember like Darjeeling Limited sort of came out around about that time. I'm just remembering like loving the suits they all wore when they're on the train, and just I suppose like, you know, Wes Anderson's such a master at sort of creating those visual worlds.
The most satisfying to watch.
Yeah, and I think as well when you're young and you're sort of building your world and creating your world, like having an understanding that kind of needs to exist beyond the music as well is obviously quite important. And then I also was, you know, I loved and still love, but like Great Gatsby. That
is one of my favorites.
Yeah, it's such a, you know, it's a classic, and even name check F. Scott Fitzgerald in a Vaccine song.
We're here. Obviously, it's a big milestone for you guys.
Yeah, it is a big milestone. Yeah.
And obviously, you guys are known for a lot of indie bangers.
Oh,
we would say.
Yeah.
Yes. How do you build a crowd, like a set that works for, especially an indie festival like this?
Yeah, I mean, good question. I mean, it's something we were talking about this morning, moving some stuff around because we felt like a couple of things didn't work yesterday. So it's like, you know, it's just a never-ending conversation, really. It's slightly different this year as well because we're playing the first album almost in full, but it's like we're doing it in the first half of the set, which makes things slightly more difficult because you have to balance that, and then you have to balance the second half, and then, you know, there has to be sort of, I guess, balance and harmony throughout the whole thing. But yeah, I'll get back to you on that. I'm not really sure. You know, I think that when you're playing a festival, you have to be aware of the fact that, you know, the vast majority of people only know some of your songs, and so it's about, I think, creating an arc where there are these like big moments throughout.
Bit of a journey.
Yeah. On a journey. Yeah.
Absolutely. And yeah, the 15th anniversary of, you know, your album. How does that feel?
It feels strange. I mean, like, time in some respects feels like it's flown by, and in other ways it feels like a lifetime ago. And as sort of seems to be the thing now, it felt kind of fitting to like mark its anniversary or birthday or whatever. Particularly as we're kind of finishing our 7th record at the moment, it felt like a nice thing to do before, sort of acknowledge it and mark it and then move on to the next chapter.
And speaking of that growth, was there any advice you would give yourself back then, looking back?
Yeah, I think to enjoy it more and not be as sort of like, yeah, I think it's a very strange thing to be like thrust into the spotlight, however bright or big that spotlight is, you know, even on a sort of smaller level, nothing can really ever prepare you for that, and it's incredibly overwhelming, and like, you know, I think that all of a sudden strangers have opinions on, you know, what you sound like and what you look like and how you, I found it very, I mean, I still find it relatively uncomfortable, but sort of as you get older, a lot more sort of comfortable in your own skin, and I just, maybe just enjoy it more and not worry that it's all going to end tomorrow, and not worry so much what other people think, I guess.
Speaking of festivals, you've got a rider. What is the number one must-have on that for you?
Cadbury's chocolate is
big
on that, and like bottled beer, Coke Zero.
Oh yeah.
Crumpets. These are all, you said number one. Oat milk. These are
yes.
Just I suppose our creature comforts. Yeah. Peanut butter.
Rice cakes.
Yeah, rice cakes. They're always on there. We're missing the hummus actually.
We'll
if
find
you can
that
have
for
a
you.
word with someone,
I'll go and ask for
yeah.
What's your craziest festival experience so far? We are a family channel. I have to do this.
Yeah, no, I was thinking this the other day actually, that, you know, your experience backstage is so often like the complete sort of, well, it's very detached from what's going on the other side of the fence. So sometimes, you know, there can be a really nice environment backstage, but it's maybe not somewhere you'd want to spend the day on the other side of it. And then vice versa, there can be, you walk out, then you think, like, this is the most fun place on planet Earth, and backstage is horrible. And but I was thinking the other day that I remember one of the first festivals we played, I feel like it was in like Norway or somewhere like that. They had like a list of activities you could do. This isn't, I think we went mackerel fishing.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I thought you meant like bingo or something.
No, it was like quite out there. I think maybe going mackerel fishing just before we played.
Before you played?
Yeah, before
oh
we
my God.
played.
That's a good pre-show ritual, I guess.
Yeah, quite crazy looking back, yeah. Or maybe not crazy, but strange. Yeah.
I think so. That should be at every festival.
Yes, I agree. Even a landlocked place like Oxfordshire should be
just
providing.
They just bring a swimming pool somewhere and they fill that up with fish. I don't know. Maybe not. What is your favourite song to hear sung back to you?
I mean, honestly, hearing any song you've written kind of in solitude sung back to you is a pretty like powerful thing. I mean, there are these moments in the set, if you want to, being probably the most obvious, that always like sort of result in a sing-along, and it's a really powerful thing because lots of artists kind of tire of playing their biggest, most popular songs, but I just think for me it just continues to be like a really powerful reminder of the connection and the community that you're sort of lucky enough to be a part of. And so I think the big moments in any set are always the most powerful for me, I think.
Does it sometimes feel like it almost becomes the crowd's song? Yeah,
and it feels like playing it for the first time often because the reaction is always kind of ever so slightly different to the reaction you experienced the day before, and they drift further. You kind of instill your own sort of like folk tradition. They kind of, you go years without hearing the recorded versions, and so they drift further and further away from the recorded versions and sort of become their own. Yeah.
Are there any that have really changed, like on the live setup from?
Probably. I mean, I heard Post Breakup Sex in a bar a while back and didn't recognize it.
Really?
Yeah. I was like, it sounds kind of familiar. Sounds like it.
You're like, I think I know this song.
Yeah, and when I kind of honed in, I was like, oh, it is. I sort of thought it sounded like us, but I couldn't really. And that's because you go years without hearing those songs. And
you
they
don't
do
have
sound
a playlist
different.
of yourself then, no?
No, the only thing I'll come clean about is I warm up to our own music. So there's like a couple of songs I listen like, and it always ruins my. Are we allowed to talk about Spotify on an HMV?
We should buy physical.
I mean, definitely buy physical, but it always ruins my like end of year
algorithm,
stuff because it's just like all vaccines at the top.
Artist.
Yeah.
You can't post that one.
No.
If there was any cover you could put into your own set that you think would go in there well.
We've done a few covers throughout the years, and they've never gone as well as we hoped they would. So, I don't know. What did we do? What was the last song we covered? There are covers that feel like you're not allowed to touch them, I feel like there are certain songs that are kind of untouchable. What did we do? We did like a Dire Straits song. Yeah. Relatively recently. That didn't go down particularly well. Yeah. We thought it was going to be a big moment, and alas, it was not. Yeah.
My final question for you is, what's next for the Vaccines?
We're just finishing our 7th studio album, which I hope will be available in HMB.
It definitely will be.
Yeah. It's always it's a very exciting thing for us to kind of go to record shops and HMB included and get to like buy a physical copy and stuff.
Definitely.
It's
physical media, hey? Yeah. Plugging this all weekend.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for chatting to us.